What's up, guys? This is going to be another Blue Leader spoiler. So we're going to go into the Raditz leader, and before we get into the deck profile, I wanted to let you guys know, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure that if you guys don't want to watch the deck list, there's always the gameplay video on the description below. So check out the description below, click on the gameplay video if you guys are not interested in the deck list. So we're going to get into the deck list right now. What this leader does is when it draws, it attacks, very basic, but it does have an interesting ability where if you have 2 or more energy, you can reduce the Z energy cost of Scouter in your Z deck by 1 for the turn. So, and then it also negates the skill for the game. So this is one of those skills where you can only use it once on the front side ever. The Scatter ability is a 1 energy, 1 Z energy card, where limit 1 if you play a mono blue Raditz or Vegeta or Nappa. Then your opponent reveals their hand. So this is a very interesting card because it lets you have free knowledge as to what your opponent has in their hand. And additionally, if your opponent has a battle card with 15k or less in their hand, most likely you're going to see a super combo, I would imagine. But people who are going to be playing against this deck will probably mulligan away their super combo. But in actuality, it's very unlikely that they're able to play a deck where there's like a very few number of battle cards that are more than 15k. So most likely even in the mirror match, I would say that it's very easy for you to get cards that are below 15k or equal to 15k. So if they have a 15k or less battle card in hand, you get to play a Raditz, Vegeta, or Nappa all blue with the power of 16k power and a different character name than the played card. So if you play a Raditz, for example, then you can play a Nappa or Vegeta, or if you play a Nappa, you can play Vegeta or Raditz, etc. But you cannot play the same name character as the character that you played. So this allows you to basically circumvent the whole play cost of these 16k power Saiyans, and this allows you to pretty much have board pressure. It's a very good card as it is only 1 energy and 1 Z energy. You can easily facilitate this play as early as turn 2. So it seems to be the trend where leaders are able to awaken on turn 2 and also be able to play out a lot of their threats on turn 2. So we're going back to this. In order to awaken with this leader, alternatively, the boring way is usually to awaken at 4 or less life, but the interesting way is to be able to awaken if you have 3 or more mono blue Saiyan cards among all your cards in your energy and battle cards, and it's a draw 2 and then draw cards until you have 6 cards in your life. So what does this mean? So it means that on turn 1 to 2, you only have to really just charge 1 Saiyan, mono blue Saiyan card among your energy, because by turn 2 you're going to be playing your Scouter for 1 energy, and once you play your Scouter, ideally you can play your Raditz on the same turn, and then you're going to be able to play out a card off the Scouter. So you're going to have a total of 3 Saiyans among your energy and battle area by turn 2 by just charging 1 mono blue Saiyan in your energy. So that's going to help you draw and awaken. So when you awaken on the backside, it draws when it attacks, very normal. However, it has an auto ability where you can remove a Scouter from your battle area from the game. So you have the Scouter out by turn 2, and on your opponent's turn, when it doesn't have to be your opponent's turn, but if it is your opponent's turn, when one of your blue Raditz is KO'd, you can play a Nappa from your deck that has 16k power. So that's really good, right? So there's a lot of Nappas in this deck. The other ability of the Raditz leader is at the end of your turn, choose up to one of your Raditz battle cards, switch it active mode, and it gains blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. So what does this mean? So that means that if whatever you play a Raditz here, it'll gain the ability of blocker even after you attack with it, because it'll restand. So when you restand it, this means that when they ever do get KO'd, you can play one of these Nappas from your deck. So you play a total of 3 different Nappas, and this Nappa right here allows you to play a Cyberman token that has a combo power of 5k, and it also has blocker and revenge. So you have extra forms of defense on your opponent's turn if your Raditz gets removed by being KO'd. It also allows you to play itself, activate main. You can pay 1 blue, and only if you have 3 or more energy, you can draw a card and play this card from your hand. So I believe all the Nappas do that ability. Limit 1, play themselves, and then draw a card. So let's read right here. If you have 2 or more energy, play this card from here. So you don't draw a card on play with this one, but you do draw a card when a Scouter card is played in your battle area. And let's read the other Nappa here. We have this Nappa here where instead of, this does draw a card like the other Nappa does, and then play itself for 1 energy, and you have to have 3 or more. But when it is played, it bottom decks one of your opponent's battle card with an energy cost of 5 or less, and place it on the bottom of the deck. So that acts as a form of removal on your opponent's turn, being able to KO one of your Raditz and being able to bottom deck one of your opponent's battle cards. This Nappa does so. Let's to reiterate here. This Nappa will generate you a Cyberman token that has blocker and revenge. This Nappa will KO an opponent's battle cards 5 or less, bottom decking it. And this Nappa right here will let you combo from the drop area once per battle if one of your Raditz, Vegeta, or Nappa is in battle. And then this allows you to facilitate your Z energy. So it allows you to combo cards from your drop area and then being able to play your Scouter essentially. So that's all the Nappas here. Let's read the Raditz cards. The first Raditz card we want to play is a cantrip, where it allows you to look at the top 5 cards for a Saiyan that costs 4 or less. So you can pretty much search for your super combo with this, but you can also search for all the other cards as well. Being able to utilize this card in tandem with the Scouter allows you to search for the Nappa and then be able to play the Nappa by playing this Raditz. It also has revenge too, so if you are able to keep this guy on board, then your leader will give it blocker, and then having it have blocker will mean that you can facilitate using the auto ability on the backside, and then being able to remove your Scouter from game and playing a Nappa from your deck. Alright, so the idea is to put your Nappas back in your deck sometimes if you don't have any Nappas in your hand. So you do play the Vegeta super combo here, where you can bottom deck the Nappas that you need in your deck to be able to play them from the deck using the Raditz. So that's a strategy you can use. Let's go into the Raditz. The Raditz here, aside from that, allows you to, this Raditz here allows you to KO one of your opponent's battle, or bottom deck one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost greater than their current energy. So it's one of those cards that checks the amount of energy your opponent has, but it has a really good ability too, where when it does get KO'd or removed from a battle area by an opponent's skill, you get to draw a card. So what does that mean? That means if you give this guy a blocker and he gets KO'd as a process from being blocking or just overall because they find him annoying and they want him off the board, well, you're going to be able to draw a card and then replace him with the Nappa from the deck. So that's really good strategy in that, so that you don't waste any cards overall. Also has the ability to be able to be played for 1 blue energy, where if your leader is a blue Raditz and you have 3 or more energy, play this card from your hand. So it's pretty good. There's another Raditz that I find pretty intriguing about this archetype, and it's going to be it's going to be the SR here Raditz, where it reduces the cost to 2 if you have a blue extra card in your battle area, namely the Scouter, because this is Scouter. And then also has a negate ability where you can pay 2 energy, and then it has the ability where it's played until the end of your opponent's turn. Your opponent can't play battle cards with an original power as a declared number unless they place 1 card from their hand to the bottom deck. So this has sort of like a tax ability, where if you play this on turn energy 3 or more, you get to declare any number. So if you're playing against a deck you know that has a lot of 20Ks, such as the Zamasu leader, you can declare 20K as your number, and then on your opponent's turn, they can't play any cards with 20K, exactly that power, from their hand or anywhere, unless they want to place a card from their hand in the bottom of the deck. So this actually allows you to tax your opponent for playing battle cards, especially if the whole archetype is playing that specific power. So in this support, if you're playing the mirror match, you definitely want to call 16K, right? Because when you call 16K, then your leader or your opponent cannot play in the mirror match, because a lot of the cards that they play are 16K battle cards. So this is a really devastating card in the mirror match, and I advise you guys, if you guys think this deck is going to be meta, that you definitely play 4 copies of this card, and then being able to lock out your opponent on their next turn. So it's going to be the battle of who gets to play the most Raditz in their opening hand. Okay, so that's what it does. It also has dual attack too, so you can attack with it twice, and then it has blocker, so that you can just restand it with the leader and then provide blocking. So that's the other Raditz leader, the Raditz card. So that's a total of 3 different Raditz. But there's another Raditz from the Z deck. Let's read what that does. It's called Prelude to Invasion. It's what you're going to be playing on turn 2, because on turn 2 you can play this for only 1 energy and 1 Z energy. The Z energy that you didn't use for playing your Scouter, because the leader on the front side pretty much reduces the cost of that Scouter by 1 Z energy. So because you're not going to be using that Z energy, you're going to be using it for this one. This is going to allow you to attack because you can only use this ability, the combo attack, on the turn that it was played to combo a Saiyan card with a combo cost of 5k from your drop. This allows you to put more cards in your Z energy, and then it'll restand at the end of the turn. So this way, you're able to provide blocking if you need to be. It also has the ability too where it gets an extra 1k power and critical by paying 1 blue energy in the event that you have the ability to do so. So that's going to be really interesting, Raditz, and it's going to be pretty good for this archetype. Okay, what else do we have to go here? We're going to go through the Vegetas here. The Vegetas here, it's pretty powerful. This is one of the more powerful Vegeta, called Vegeta going Astray. It's pretty much a staple in this deck because it gets dual attack and it gets double strike and it gains 9k power for the whole turn. So you can essentially hit for 2 energy, you can hit for 25k twice for only 2 energy. So that's really good, especially in the turn 4 and beyond. You can play multiple copies of this, but you can only have limit 1 for either skills. It's also a different name so that you can play both your Raditz from your hand or a Nappa from your hand. Let's read this Vegeta here. It's going to be the other Vegeta. It does the same thing as the other Vegeta. It gains 9k on its swing, and it can get dual attack, but it doesn't have the double strike keyword ability. So it'll be able to bottom deck one of your opponent's battle cards, and then it'll be able to have dual attack. So very, very much like the other one for only 2 energy, but preferably you want to play this Vegeta over this Vegeta, unless you want to bottom deck battle cards. I think this one doesn't bottom deck, yeah. So this one removes battle cards, and this Vegeta does not. Just for FYI purposes. And then I pretty much play the staple blue stuff. I play the D-Magic, the Beerus Destroys, and I also play the Senzu Bean. I play this guy for an anti-floodgate, as it is free if you have all your energy being mono blue. You can activate this counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost by placing 1 card in the bottom of your deck. So by paying 2 cards out of your hand without paying energy is way more of a precious resource than your hand size. So you can use Decisive Strike to stop Righteous 8 Topo or Defending Friends or whatever it is that floodgates you. Oceanus, Shenron. Those are cards that you can use to be stopped by Decisive Strike. And then you also have the Unison here because why not? Because if you're not playing the blue Unison, you're not really playing a blue deck. So you're playing that as 1 because it's errata. It's been limited to 1. But you also have the SCR as well. Being able to eliminate the opponent's Unison is really crucial for a lot of matchups. So being able to pretty much bounce back a blue Unison back to your opponent's hand so that you can do your plays is pretty crucial, as you are a battle card heavy deck. So by being in a battle card heavy deck, you want to be able to attack with all of them safely without worrying about the Majin Buu and all the floodgates. So that's kind of the idea of the deck, and that's why I play the Goku Black as well, being able to bottom deck as well. And then I have the Pilaf, Shu, and Mai to be able to negate any indestructibles, but any keywords that might stop you from playing the game. Okay, being a blue leader means you have to contest with against the Android 21 matchup because they can use your battle cards as energy for their cards. So just be wary that even though this is a blue leader, Android 21 being in the meta means that you have to basically deter yourself from playing a blue leader. And then I think we've gone through all of the cards in this deck, so we're going to go into the gameplay video in the next video to show you guys how the deck works turn by turn, so you guys can get a better feel of how the deck works. All right, I'll see you guys on the gameplay video. Hey guys, this will be the gameplay video for Raditz, so we're going to go right into the gameplay video. So we're going to shuffle our deck here and draw our 6 here. So the cards we want to open up with is going to be the Raditz Invasion, so we definitely want to keep at least 1 in our hand because it is a cantrip. So we're going to keep 1 in our opening hand. We're going to mulligan away the Senzu Bean because I kind of want to show you guys what the deck does, as well as the super combo because we don't really need to see what it does. So we're going to keep 1 of each name on our opening hand. I will probably mulligan away the Vegeta as well because we probably don't need it until turn 4. So we're going to mulligan this guy away as well. So we're going to shuffle our deck here and we're going to draw our 4 cards. Okay, so to start the game off, we're going to charge our Senzu Bean so that we can see what the deck does. And then we're going to pay 1 energy to play the Raditz, the Invasion here. This allows us to look at the top 5 cards of our deck, which we will do. And then we're going to add a Nappa to our hand. So that's what we're going to do here. The Bulma should not be in this deck because it should be the Pilaf and Shu. Bulma is actually a card that I decided to cut because she reduces the energy cost of your scouter by 1, so it basically means that you don't have to Z charge on the first turn, but I don't really mind Z charging because I'm going to be able to use that backside ability of this, the front side ability of this to reduce the scouter. So there's no point in playing Bulma. Okay, so we're going to shuffle our deck now, and then we're going to add a Nappa to our hand. Okay, on your opponent's turn, you're actually going to Z charge the Raditz here, so that you can play your other Raditz from your hand, and then they're gonna pass a turn. You're gonna draw a card again, and they're gonna charge another card. So we drew into another Nappa here, which is pretty bad because that means that we have less Nappas to play on our opponent's turn. But we're gonna have to roll with the punches here. We're gonna charge this Nappa here because we don't have 3 energies yet to play him. And then we're going to use the ability of Raditz here to reduce the Z energy cost of your scouter by 1 and negate the skill for the game. So we're going to use the 1 energy to play the Z extra card. So we're going to find the card here, and then we're going to play the scouter without paying the Z energy because the leader here is able to reduce it. Now with the scouter here, if it is your turn, when you do play a Raditz from your, whenever a Raditz is played, or a Vegeta or Nappa, then you get to play a different character name that was played by seeing your opponent's hand, and if they have a 15k or less, you can play something. So most likely they're going to have a 15k or less. We're going to assume that they do. We're going to pay this 1 Z energy to place the Raditz in the drop area from our Z energy, and then we're going to look through our Z deck, and then we're going to play this Raditz here. So this Raditz here, since it was played, will proc the scouter ability. We're going to look at your opponent's hand. Most likely they're going to have something that has less than 15k or 15k equal. And then we're going to play the Nappa with a character name that's different than the character played. So we get to play a Nappa. We're going to play this Nappa here because it allows us to generate a +1. So we're going to play a Cyberman token. So we're going to go here to insert, play the Cyberman token. Okay, and then we have a blocker, but it only gains blocker until the end of the turn. So you're basically just doing this for the combo power and so that you can awaken. So you do have the 3 Saiyans that are mono blue, 1, 2, 3, and this allows you to awaken. So let's awaken here. So we're going to flip to the other side, draw 2, and then we're going to get life until we have 6. Okay, so this allows us to see 2 more super combos from our hand. We could declare an attack with him, which we will do because we want to be able to Z charge. So we're going to attack with him for 10 because he's going to combo a Raditz from the drop. This allows us to feel the next Z energy so that we can play the scouter for the next turn. So this will swing for 10. They're going to take it. You're going to Z charge, and then you're going to attack for 16 if you want. Attack with leader to draw a card. And then at the end of the turn, your leader here is going to restand one of your blue Raditz battle card. But he was already going to do that anyways by his own skill. He's going to gain blocker. And then now you have some form of blocking, and this guy's an extra 5k combo power. So on your opponent's turn, when they take their turn, you're most likely going to block with the Raditz here. Use the ability of your leader here to remove a scouter when one of your Raditz is KO'd. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to remove the scouter to play a Nappa from the deck. So you're most likely going to play this Nappa here because this Nappa reads, when a scouter is placed in your battle area, draw 1 card. So you're going to be playing this 1 Z energy here to play the scouter. And then also it lets you Z charge for the next attack. So this Raditz is going to be removed from play because it was destroyed by or being KO'd. And then you're probably going to combo away this token, Cyberman token, to let it go through, and then this Nappa's most likely going to survive because it's a 16k base. Okay, next turn starts, you're going to draw a card, and you're going to Z charge again. Looks like we did draw this Nappa here, so we can actually play this guy for 1 energy. So what we're going to do here is charge our extra cards. We do have an extra copy of this Raditz and also this Raditz. This Raditz is pretty good, so we're probably going to just charge this one for the sake of learning. Okay, so we're going to pay the 1 energy so we can play our scouter. Actually, before we do that, we're going to use this Nappa. So we're going to play this Nappa first because it does not limit 1 to draw a card when a scouter is placed in your battle area. So we can stack the ability here. And then we're going to pay the 1 energy, send this Raditz to the drop area, and then go through your Z deck, and then you're going to play the scouter. Okay, so the scouter is going to trigger both these guys' abilities to draw 2. So it allows you to get a lot of advantages. So we do have another Nappa here. We can actually pay 1 energy here to play this, this Raditz here. And then because we played a Raditz, we can play a Nappa from our hand. So now we have 3 ways to Z charge. So we're probably going to do something similar to that. But first, we're going to attack with everybody. We're going to activate battle on this Nappa to Z charge. Okay, so we have another Z charge ready. And we attack with this Nappa, attack with this Nappa, and then we can attack with this one. When this card is played, when you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards with the energy cost greater than their current energy and place it on the bottom, which is pretty good. But we don't really care for that ability right now because most likely your opponent's not going to have anything that's worth KOing by turn 3. So you're going to attack here for 16k, and then you attack this guy for 16k. We currently don't have anything in the drop area for us to combo with, otherwise we would do it. We're going to attack with this leader for 15, draw a card, and then we're going to pass turn. What we're going to do is going to restand this this Raditz here. So this Raditz here, when it does get KO'd or removed from the battle area by opponent's skill, get to draw a card. So let's say hypothetically that you're tapped out, and at this point in the game, you use this ability to block, assuming it's an attack greater than 16k. Then from there, what you can do is use this ability on the KO ability to draw a card, and then use this ability over here to remove from play, and then play a Nappa. So he's going to get KO'd. You're going to play the Nappa that gives you revenge, a revenge blocker. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to insert the token again. And so put the 7-mana token into play. And so you have another form of blocking. He's going to get removed from play. And then you have a guy that's out there, another Nappa from here. And then guess what? The third scouter that you play is going to proc all of these Nappas to be able to draw cards. So this is literally on turn 4, on your next turn, to be able to draw a lot of cards. So on your next turn, you're probably going to block. You're going to block the attack, survive out of it. You could take a damage, or you can probably combo out to save one of your guys. Let's just say that you go for your face, you go to 5, and then now it's your turn again. So now you go to 4 energy. So we haven't played a Vegeta this turn yet. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna charge a Raditz here. Okay, we do have a Raditz in the drop area, so we can combo with our Nappa. So first, what we're gonna do is pay the 1 energy here. Yeah, we're gonna pay the 1 energy and pay the 1 Z energy so that we could play our Scouter again. So our third Scouter is on board now, and with our third Scouter, it's gonna proc all these Nappas. So we're gonna be able to draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. So a lot of drawing already. We have the Chill's Army Reinforcement, because now we are at 5 life. We also have Hachiyak to be able to end the attack. This is supposed to be the Gohan SCR, but I forgot to change the deck list because I was trying it out. Okay, so we still have this Nappa. We still have this Nappa that can combo. So we're going to attack with this Nappa to combo away the Raditz from our drop area, to put in our Z energy, hitting for 21. We can hit with this Nappa, and the combo away and play this Nappa in the Z energy. Then we still have 3 energy else to work with. We're going to play one of our Vegetas. So we have 4 energy. We're going to play the 2 energy to play the Vegeta here. The Scouter is going to proc here to be able to play a different name card. So we're going to play the Raditz from our hand. And this Raditz, for those of you guys who don't know, you can declare a number, one number that's basically a power. So you want to declare a power. So if you declare like 16k for the mirror match, they won't be able to attack with it unless they bottom deck 1 card from their hand. You can declare 20k, which is a really common number in the Dragon Ball Z, the Dragon Ball Super card game. So you can call like 20k, and they won't be able to attack with 20k unless they bottom deck a card. So this forms like sort of like a tax ability to tax your opponent. Okay, so now you can be able to do a dual attack, 25k with double strike. So you can definitely attack twice with this guy, attack with him, attack with him, attack with him, attack with leader. Keeping 1 energy open is okay. You could also use that 1 energy to play one card as well. We could play this Nappa as well, because this Nappa allows you to draw a card. So we're gonna attack with this Raditz. It's also a dual attack. So there's a lot of power going to your opponent, and it also stuns your opponent as well. Then we can pay with the 1 last energy to play this Nappa, or this Raditz. And this Raditz here is going to be able to draw a card on when it gets KO'd or removed. You do have a Scouter in place, so most likely your opponent's going to have something that you can remove with this ability. So you can bottom deck something. And so you have all this battle card by turn 4. You have a Hachiyak, you have a Chill's Army Reinforcement. You have a lot of different ways to negate the attack. You also have blocker, and then a Nappa that can back it up. So you can just draw a card, and then you can pretty much on your opponent's turn when it blocks, you draw a card. You can banish this card from your battle area, and then you can look it through your deck and then play a Nappa. Let's play this Nappa here. This Nappa here can provide us with a blocker, and so we go over here and add the blocker. Okay, so now we have another form of blocking, and then we also have D-Magic, we have Chill's Army Reinforcement, we have Hachiyak to be able to discard a card, we have D-Magic, yeah, like the whole 9 yards. We also have like 3 super combos too, to be able to bottom deck Nappa if you need it in your deck. Let's bottom deck a 16k Vegeta, and then draw 2 here. Yeah, and then you can block with this token here. Really strong deck, I would say, so far. Being able to circumvent the Black Mass Saiyan, because all your guys are above 15k. So because it's above 15k, the Black Mass Saiyan is not going to do anything. So you have that ability to block out attacks and as well as survive. Really strong leader so far. You also have the D-Magic as well to be able to take life and then pretty much untap 2 energy if you have the Sparking Negate, which you do because this Chill's Army Reinforcement should be in the drop area. So you have all that. So you have a lot of firepower going to the next turn. You have a lot of draw power for your fourth scouter, I believe. Yeah, so when you play your fourth scouter, you can be able to draw 3 cards with the Nappas that are currently on board. So they had to find a way to remove it by turn 4. Otherwise, you're drawing a ton of cards to your hand. Okay, so what else haven't we gone on our turn 5? Well, we haven't played this Vegeta yet. So for the sake of learning, we're going to charge the Bulma here, and we're going to play the Vegeta we have not played yet, which is this one that allows us to remove battle cards. So a very mid-range decky card so that you can attack and bottom deck cards from your opponent's side, gain the 9k, has dual attack, attack again. And then this guy is basically a double strike only for the turn, but it becomes a dual attack 25k, much like this guy right here. And then you can play another copy if you have another copy, which you do. So you can play this Vegeta here to be able to attack again. And then also use that last energy for the scouter and then draw infinite amount of cards. So you have a lot of draw power in this deck, has a lot of potential to do well. So yeah. What else have we gone to? We haven't used the ability of the Nappa, of this Nappa yet, but it's just bottom decks, nothing fancy. And then if you go through your Z deck, you'll be able to play this guy, and then he has that ability where you can pay 1 energy, combo card, and then also goes up to 20k critical. So if you want critical pressure, so a lot of defense, a lot of offense, a lot of draw. It's really good. And then you can also use Decisive Strike without paying energy if you get floodgated. So you can like bottom deck one of your cards that you might need in your deck. So like something like a Nappa, if you had it, for example, in your hand, we're gonna bottom deck this card to negate like floodgate cards. But yeah, I'm pretty much this deck is pretty much easy to understand, and it's yeah, you shouldn't have any troubles learning Raditz. So I'm definitely going to see this deck being a very good deck in the future. Hopefully, it could be tier 1, but we'll see. I'm never entirely sure anymore as the meta is shaping out to be. But being able to remove cards is Blue's hardest thing to do. Being able to remove cards at an early game is what Blue cannot do very easily, and having Nappas, having Vegetas that can bottom deck cards is a very useful tool in being able to be employed by the Raditz leader. Okay, so yeah, that's all the video there is, and I'll work on the next blue leader. I believe the next blue leader is the Nappa leader, so we'll go into the Nappa leader after this. All right, peace.